here, and welcome back to my channel. This week is Vampathon, which is really exciting. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a readathon that 4 booktubers are putting on, and as of when you will be seeing this video, it's the day right after Vampathon has ended. So if you're interested in this for next year, I would go and check out my October TBR Vampathon video. That will give you all the information to who's in charge of it, what it entails, and all of that if you're interested. So this week is Vampathon, so I'm going to be doing a reading vlog for this readathon. There was a bingo board, which I'm going to put on the screen here, and it had, I think it was 16 different prompts for books that you could read for Vampathon and then to connect. I'm going to be doing the prompts for the second row on the bingo board. The first book I'm reading is going to be Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow, and this is going to be for the spooky middle grade. Then for like the spooky or like horror manga, I'm going to be reading Demon from Afar by Kaori Yuki. Then for like the gothic story, I'm going to be doing Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. And then for the supernatural main character, I'm going to be doing Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. And I've actually already started reading this, I think, last year or a couple years ago. And I just couldn't really get into it. And I've been meaning to get back to it, and I just haven't. I am currently on page 163 of this book, so I've already started this one. I'm just using this readathon to help me finish it. And then I also, if I can get all of these done, because really there's only 3 books. The manga is going to take like half an hour to an hour at most to read, so it's not that difficult to get the 4 that I'm planning probably read. So if I can get all those read early, I'm then going to try to finish Angel of Darkness by Caleb Carr, and that was the mystery prop from the bingo board. I actually used the bingo board and picked 16 different books that matched the prompts from my October TBR, and I unfortunately haven't been able to read them all, and there's no way I can fit them all in this last week. But Angel of Darkness, I'm like 46% of the way in because I'm reading it on an ebook. I'm going to try to finish it, but I was reading that book for like a week and only got to 46%, so it's taking a long time to get through. I'm not really sure why. So yeah, those are my reading plans. I'm going to get started with Nevermore. And then there's also for Vampathon, there are different prompts of things to take pictures of to put on Instagram every week. The first one that needed to go up today was a picture of your TBR stack. So that's actually already up on my Instagram. So later I'll show like my process of taking pictures the rest of the week. So yeah, I will check back in either when I go to take my picture or when I've read some of Nevermore. So yeah. Hey everyone, so first reading check-in. I have started reading Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow, and I am currently 184 pages in. And I'm like right before her first trial that she's going to have to do to join the Wanderer Society. So I'm really liking this so far. There's a lot of like world building and like kind of understanding this land Nevermore that Morgan gets whisked off to. Morgan is a cursed child. She was born on Eventide, and she's doomed to die at the end of the age or something like that. So she's like, whenever anything goes wrong, like if someone loses or if like the fire starts or like anything crazy, it's her fault. And like her dad has to pay reparations for it, and she has to like write letters as an apology. It's kind of actually ridiculous because someone's food went bad and she had to write an apology letter for making their food go bad. She wasn't responsible for that. That's like ridiculous. But anyway, shortly before midnight on the day that she's supposed to die, and this guy named Jupiter North shows up and whisks her off to this place called Nevermore, which is the Free State, and it's like almost like this magical land where like things kind of are nonsensical, and like it's very weird. And Jupiter North owns and runs this hotel, and he's part of the Wonder Society. And for the first time, he is presenting a candidate for the Wonder Society. So he is Morgan's patron, and there are like 500 contestants in this competition to join the Wonder Society, and only 9 of them are going to get a place. And they have 4 trials that they have to complete to join the society. So I'm starting the chapter right before the first trial. But before I get into this, I wanted to work on my Instagram post for tomorrow. So the prompt for Instagram for tomorrow is to do a spooky book cover. So I'm going to look through my books here and choose one of the spookiest looking books to take a picture of and put on my Instagram for tomorrow. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Alrighty, so this down here is kind of like my spooky dark shelf. So that's not spooky. That's not spooky. That's dark, but it's not spooky. I actually want to read this. I've had that for years and I haven't read it. This is another one. I mean, that one's kind of spooky. I was thinking about maybe doing this one. This is a possibility. Yeah, Miss Terraqueen's books really aren't spooky. They're just odd looking. Let's see. That one there's cool. That's not spooky. And I don't think either of these are spooky. No, they're just pretty. Well, the woman... Oh, let me see here. Let's see. I would say that's spooky or even scary, so that's an option. I don't really think that looks that scary. And I don't think any of those have spooky covers. I'm trying to think if I have really any other, like, spooky covered books. Yeah, I think it's going to be between these two here. You know, I kind of think Dawn of the Dreadfuls is more scary, so we're going to take a picture of that one for my Instagram feed here. Here we go. Alright, now it's time to take a picture. Hey everyone, and happy Tuesday! So I got quite a bit of reading done yesterday. I have almost read all of Nevermore, which is pretty exciting. And I will say so far, I'm leaning on like a 3-star for this because there's a lot of world building and it's getting to know what's like going on and like learning who the bad guy is and like trying to figure out like this new world. So we have Morgan, who is a cursed child, and cursed children are supposed to die on midnight of, I forget what day, but like at the end of an age, they're supposed to die. And Morgan goes to this like bidding ceremony where patrons will bid on children to become like their apprentices. And she's not actually taking part in the bidding. And she just kind of goes to like see what it's all about because she knows she's going to die soon. So like, why would anyone bid on her? And she ends up getting more bids than any child has ever gotten, even though she wasn't even supposed to be part of the bidding ceremony. And then she finds out that it was all a joke, or was it? And so this guy, Jupiter North, shows up shortly before, like, she's supposed to die, and tells her that he's her patron, that he's going to take her away, and, you know, everything's going to be fine, and he does something to make her parents think that she's dead. Well, he takes her to Nevermore, which is kind of like this fantastical world that's kind of run on wonder, which is kind of like magic. And it's very things are very different there. It's kind of almost like Wonderland, like everything's like topsy-turvy. And she's trying to figure out why he would want to be her patron, how it is that she survived even though she was supposed to die, what her like knack is, because Jupiter wants her to be part of this wondrous society, and to be in it she has to complete these 4 trials, and the last trial is to show what her knack is, and she doesn't know what it is. Jupiter knows what it is, but he's not telling her for whatever reason. So yeah, I believe I'm getting ready to start the 4th challenge, so I'll catch up with you at the end. I have my assumptions, and I kind of think I know who the bad guy is, but I'll find out soon. Okay, so like I just finished it, and I was right. Like her knack is special, if you really want to call it a knack, and I guessed who the bad guy was. I didn't really guess why he wanted her, like, but I guess like that he was the bad guy and kind of what was going on. So yeah, I mean, it's still a 3 stars because, like I said, most of this book is just world building and like getting things explained to us. And I always find that kind of boring. I care less about the setup and more about like the characters and relationships and like writing and stuff. So I did really enjoy this. I thought it was really good. It's probably going to be better for books 2 and 3 because now everything's established. So yeah, I really, really liked it, but it wasn't like amazing or anything. So I'm now going to read Demon from Afar, Volume 1. I'll probably get this read in like 30 minutes. So I'm going to read this really quick and then tell you what I think about it. Alright, so I just finished Demon from Afar, and I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed it. It was very dark. It was very like gothic horror, which I absolutely loved. But basically we have these 3 main characters. We have Soreth, Garin, and Kiora. And Garin is engaged to Kiora. It's kind of like an arranged marriage that his dad set up. And then Soreth, he was found in like this, what's it called? Like an earthquake. He was like underneath some buildings, and Garin heard him like calling for help and like came and like saved him. And no one knew who Soreth was, like who his parents were or anything. So Garin convinced his dad to let, I guess, Soreth kind of be like a servant in their household. But he kind of became like his best friend. Well, it turns out that Kiora actually has a thing for Soreth, is in love with Soreth, not Garin. And then like the dad is like really abusive and like mistreats people, and he's also evil. And he has like some weird like ritualistic things that he's doing. So I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say it's really dark, and it definitely hits all of like the gothic horror like themes, like the child abuse, mistreatment of women, supernatural elements. Like it ticks all the boxes. So yeah, it's really good. This series has a total of 6 volumes, so I'll probably be reading the other 5 volumes in November because I am really interested to know what's going on. So next, I'm going to read Mexican Gothic, which I'm super excited about. It sounds like people either love or hate this book, and I'm not sure where I'm going to end on, like, my opinion for this. But, yeah, I probably won't be checking in anymore today because it is getting late. So I'm just going to read this, and I'll check in with you tomorrow. Hi, everyone, and happy Wednesday. It is late Wednesday night. So, yeah, I've been working pretty much most of the day. But, like, last night and then when I get off of work, I, like, literally devoured Mexican Gothic. Like, I, like, devoured this book. I mean, it's only like 301 pages, so it doesn't really take that long, but this was so good. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. So, Mexican Gothic, this girl named Noemi ends up getting a letter from her cousin Catalina, who was recently married, that her husband's poisoning her and that there's like ghosts in this house or the things in the walls, and like basically it sounds like her cousin has gone crazy. And so Noemi's dad is like, I'm concerned for your cousin. Like, I think she might need some psychiatric help. So I want you to go and check on her, see what her husband and his family are doing to help with her condition, what's wrong with her, and like get your cousin some help, pretty much. So she goes, and it's like this like gothic mansion. Like her, Noemi, and her cousin are both like natives of Mexico, and the family that Catalina married into are from England, so they are all like white, blonde hair, blue eyes. There's a lot of like racism in this book, and there's like a lot of talk about like inferior and superior like beings and like genes and stuff like that, which is a little weird. The main characters in this are Noemi and Catalina. There's Frances and Florence, and Florence is Frances's mom. Then we have the guy that Catalina married, who is Victor? I think it might be Victor. And then the father, who's like the head of the household, and he is Howard. And their last name is Doyle. And there is, like, she shows up and Catalina is like acting fine. She's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry to trouble you. Everything's fine now. And then like every once in a while, like when like the maid or Florence isn't watching, like Catalina starts like help me. There's something going on here. You have to get me this tonic. There's, you know, and like all of a sudden she gets like really crazed and like crazy. And then Catalina like starts sleepwalking and she's having these weird dreams. And there's a lot of mold around the house. And there's also like all these rumors, or I don't want to say rumors because it actually did happen, but like I guess when the Howard family initially moved to Mexico, they opened these silver mines, and they hired a lot of local workers, and they all ended up like getting sick and dying. And like it just seems like the whole place is cursed, and you know, you either go crazy or you die or both. And I kind of got what was going on like halfway through the book. I was like, I think I know what it is, which I was pretty close. I was pretty close about like what was causing all of this. And yeah, like it was really interesting, like the take on what it is that is causing this, and kind of like the backstory to it. And yeah, and it just had like all the perfect like gothic elements, because obviously Howard is abusive, he's controlling, kind of like, you know, in Demon from Afar the dad's like abusive, and like rituals, they were more so a part of like past flashbacks where the rituals were than in like the current time, but there are talks about like rituals and cannibalism and stuff, and like the whole like treatment of women and how they view women and everything like that. So yet again, it had all the elements that you want in like a gothic horror novel. I will say that I was taking pauses in between like every chapter, because I felt like each chapter was like, so I don't want to say dense, but there was like so much information, or the writing felt like you were getting more in each chapter. So I was like having to put it down in between each chapter for a couple minutes, because it felt like I had read a lot more than I actually had. But I still flew through it because I just started last night. Now I'm going to start reading, well, I'm on page 168, and that's where I left off. I want to try to finish this by the end of Vampathon, but I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll see, because I think this is like 700 and some pages. If I love it, great. If not, it might take me a while. We'll see what happens. But yes, I'm gonna start reading on this, and I will check in with you. Hey everyone, and happy Thursday. So I've gotten up to page 254 in Shadow of the Night, and I am honestly not feeling it. Like, so Jody has talked about in Discovery of Witches, the first one, how that's very insta-lovey, and how like, and she kind of explains this because like Matthew's like a vampire who's lived for like over 1,000 years, and like his emotions are heightened and different stuff like that. Well, something else happens in this book that's very, it's too quick. It's too quick. They're talking about something, and Matthew tells Diana, don't worry about it. Like, there's no record of that ever happening, so we shouldn't worry about it. Like, it's okay. Like, the odds of it happening are slim to none. And then two chapters later, it happens. And it's just like, you knew when he said that it was going to happen, but like, not that quickly. Like, usually that's something that you would like, oh my goodness, like at the reveal at the end of the book or something, not like 2 chapters later. So that was like super annoying. I still feel like because I think I made a point about this earlier when I was talking about continuing it, that it feels like I'm reading a historical, like, document. So, like, I'm enjoying the characters, and I'm enjoying, like, the setting, and kind of, like, everything that's going on, but the way it's written is, like, really, really rough. Like, I like stuff that, like, flows. I like it to be lyrical or pretty, or, like, I don't know. It's just the writing. I'm just not feeling the writing in this book. So I just don't want to keep reading it right now. I don't want to force myself to read this one. I'm just not feeling it. So I think I want to start something else. But I don't know, because the other thing I wanted to read was Angel of Darkness. Because I got like 46% in, and I spent like almost a whole week reading that book, and I only got to page 40, or to 46%. So I don't know if I want to keep reading that, because I don't think I'm going to be able to read it all by the end of Vampathon. So there was this book that I got when I went to visit my in-laws called The Resurrectionist of Caligo. So maybe I think I might pick that up. We're going to put Shadow of the Night to the side, and let's see here. I think it should be in my Victorian era section. Here it is. The Resurrectionist of Caligo. This here looks really good. I think I want to start reading this. So we're going to start reading this. Alright, so basically this book, if I remember correctly, we have a body snatcher and a princess, and I think there might be a romantic thing in between them, and I think they have to solve a murder. There's like this guy going around strangling women, and they're like, they get sick before they get strangled and killed. So yeah, and it says it's set in this Victorian tinged fantasy noir. So yeah, I'm super excited for this. So I'm gonna start reading this, and I'll get back to you. Hey everyone, and happy Friday! So, I am loving this. I'm on chapter 11, and yeah, this is really good. Like, the writing's good. I'm liking the characters. So the body snatcher's name is Roger, and he wants to be like a surgeon or some type of medical physician, but he's poor. And just like nowadays, you kind of have to have money or be able to take out loans and different stuff to be a doctor. And so he's kind of worked his way into like some of these medical schools by getting stiffs and selling them to them. And so he kind of gets taught a little bit here and there for free, and he also gets paid for these stiffs, which stiffs are dead bodies, illegally obtained. So he will go and, like, after a funeral, whatever, he'll go and dig up a body and then take it to the colleges and sell the bodies for, experiments and things. Well, this is against the law. It's more so a slap on the wrist or, like 3 months in jail. It's not like a hangable offense or anything like that. So he's okay taking the risk. But he's noticed that several of the bodies that he has procured or seen have like really weird, like their stomachs look really weird. And before they were killed by this strangler, I forget his official title, but they all got like really sick beforehand. Well, he ends up one night when he's like body snatching, he meets this girl named Ada, and her mom is like a woman of the night or a lady of the night, whatever you want to call it. Finds out that her mom is sick, and she's having this like weird sickness that happens before these other women have gotten strangled. So he tells Ada that he'll take a look at her mom. Like he's not like a licensed physician or anything, but he does have some medical knowledge, so he might be able to like find out what's wrong with her. So he goes and looks her over, and she has like she basically has symptoms from like all these different diseases, but then her blood runs black, which is not, he's like, I've never heard of a disease that does that. Well, he ends up then getting accused of being the strangler and arrested. So then our other character, Sabella, is a princess, and currently she's kind of like in exile because she's refused to marry her cousin. She's like, no, I'm not marrying him. And we find out that her and Roger used to kind of like have I don't want to say a relationship, but there were like feelings between them. And she thought that he, I guess, didn't really care about her, and like he was like messing around with other women. And he felt as if she thought that she was superior and that he was lesser than her. And so there's like clearly a misunderstanding about what was going on. And she has apparently like a half brother who is illegitimate. And in this kingdom, if you're a illegitimate child of like the royal family, you get killed, and usually it's within your first 2 days of life. But she has successfully been able to hide her brother, and I guess the queen has found out about him, but she doesn't know where he is. So she sends her stray bound, which are apparently these people that are like bound to like royalty through like blood, to try to get Sibella to like sell him out pretty much. And she won't do it. Well, I guess her exile has been cut off, and she's been called back to the kingdom. And she's been asked by Roger's brother to make someone a stray bound who's been accused of murder, but he's an innocent, and he hasn't told Sibella who it is yet. But of course it's Roger. So yeah, I'm really liking Sibella. I like that she is kind of like her own person, and she doesn't want to like do things just because that's the way they're supposed to do, or it's supposed to be done. And in this world, it's not actually set in like our world. It's like in a fictitious like Victorian era style place called like Merknia, I think is how you pronounce it. But everything, like they're wearing Victorian clothing, kind of like the way they behave is very like the Victorian era. But the magic system there is very interesting because only the royals are supposed to have this magic. And they are kind of like, they've been kind of like interbreeding with each other so that only the royals have it, and like it keeps the bloodline, like, or the magic strong. And if you're not part of the royal bloodline and you're found to have like magic, depending on how much you have, depends on what could happen to you. Because there's like some street performer that's missing like a finger or something, and they're like, oh, that's because he performed and he showed off too much magic. So he was warned that he better like keep it tapped down. So it's interesting, and it seems like it's blood magic in this. It's like it's part of your DNA, and it goes through your blood, and also your blood gets links people to you for like the stray bounds and stuff like that. So it's very fascinating, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, super happy. I'm hoping I can finish this, but it is 300 and something pages, and my husband and I have plans on Sunday, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get around or not. But we will see, and I will check in with you tomorrow. Hey everyone, and happy Halloween! Yeah, today is October 31st, it is Halloween, and it is also the 7th and final day of Vampathon. And my week has gone pretty well. So I'm just gonna wrap it up, talk about what I've done today, what I plan to do later, and yeah. So to wrap it up, I completed 3 books during the readathon, but I read 5. So the 3 books I completed, the first one was Nevermore, which I talked about. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Demon from Afar by Kaori Yuki, and this is volume 1, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I finished reading Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars because it was really good. And then I read 84 more pages of Shadow of the Night. I was on page 168, and I wanted to pick this up and finish it. It wasn't happening, and I decided to put it to the side for now on page 254. So yes, I'll get back to this soon. I think maybe I'll read like a chapter here and there, or maybe I'll like read as much as I can like once a week until it's done, because I like the idea of it and I like the characters, but I'm just not loving the writing, and it's making it really difficult to read. So maybe if I just read it in like small spurts, I might be able to get through it. And then I have successfully been able to read 157 pages of The Resurrectionist of Caligo. And this is by Wendy Trimboli and Alicia Zaloga. And I'm really, really liking this book. I'm feeling like it's going to be a 4 or 5 stars.
And yeah, I'll probably be reading more of this today, but I'm almost halfway through, but my husband and I have been doing more like Halloween-y things today together, so I don't think I'm actually going to be able to finish this. So, for Halloween, I woke up and then I did a Fairy Loot unboxing, which you will see after this video. And then my husband and I played quite a few hours of Diablo 3 because we were playing that together, and then we kind of like, I get in the moods where I want to play games and stuff. And for Halloween, I wanted to watch some movies, but you know, that's more of a my thing. So I was like, okay, John, we'll play a game that you want to play so that he could get, like, do what he wanted to do on Halloween too. So we played several hours of Diablo 3. I read some more of my book, and I'm getting ready to make dinner. And then probably while we eat dinner, we're going to watch Victor Frankenstein. And this has Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy in it. I've never seen this, neither has my husband, but it looks really good. It says it has macabre images, violence, and a sequence of destruction, and it's only PG-13. So it shouldn't be too terrifying or disturbing or anything like that. So yes, and then it all depends on how I'm feeling, like if I want to read more or not, because I also kind of want to read or watch Beguiled, or The Beguiled, that has Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman, Kirsten Dunst, and Elle Fanning in it. And this is kind of also like a period thriller, and it's rated R for some sexuality. But yes, I've been wanting to watch this. I've had this for quite a while. Neither my husband and I have watched this either, so I'm hoping that we can maybe watch this. But yes, that is the plan. We're gonna have fajitas and Spanish rice for our Halloween dinner, which is exciting. And yeah, so I'm gonna wrap up this video here. I hope you all had a wonderful, happy Halloween. And if you like this video, please give it a big old thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button down below. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!